I would look for you to think more like a criminal prosecution lawyer. What they're looking to be able to do is to question the witnesses so that the evidence that is presented convinces a jury that this person did or didn't do something. So that's what I'm looking to be able to do. Is I'm never trying to be able to push my thing. I'm just being curious towards their individual circumstances so that I can align a recommendation the other side of this. So I'm showing up with that curious questioning mentality that says, let me get to the truth before we bring judge and jury. Because otherwise, all I've got to share is my opinion. I need my opinion applied to their unique circumstances, which means I need to collect certain pieces of evidence. And in any given objection that you're going to receive right now, there's a series of evidence that you collect that proves that that objection is stupid. Or that objection is 100% real for this person in this given set of circumstances, and you know that nobody could do a better job than the one that you couldn't do. Which is sometimes equally important, right? Is that you keep that level of confidence in play that says, I didn't do anything wrong here. For example, if you lose a deal right now because somebody loses their job and that they push through a mortgage contingency that says that I cannot afford the mortgage and the whole thing falls apart, and there was nothing more you could do to be able to salvage the deal, you just have to scratch that one up for something in the circumstances and move on. There isn't a set of words that can save something that can mean that somebody can buy a property that they don't have the means to buy. But the impressionable maybes that sit in the middle that have human decision-making attached to them, here's where we want to be able to actually navigate those conversations on from there. So how do you get good at it? Instead of thinking, what should I say? Think, what am I looking to prove here before I present my opinion? You're on the quest for evidence. That's the other thing in this whole game, is that if we play in this area of possibility, then it keeps everything up there in the real world. If we say this is the perfect time to buy, because there are going to be lots of people in distressed purchases, that could create conflict, abrasion, and argument. Whereas if we say, look, possibly there could be something in the market right now, that area of possibility keeps it in play. That's what keeps the conversation moving. So the other lesson here is that we're looking for fluidity and lack of friction. And all the time that we play in a shade of gray as opposed to a play of black and white, everything is continuing to move. The only time that your conversations with a client get to black and white is when the attorneys are involved. At that point, it needs to be dotting I's and crossing T's and certainty. Everything prior to that point is in play, and that's where the agent really earns their money. My mother-in-law is a real estate agent, and she often talks to me about some difficult transactions. And the things that I remember to remind her all the time is this is why you earn your money. Like if it was easy and everything was fluid, guess what? Redfin wouldn't be laying off 41% of their staff right now. Like if it was easy and everybody would transact, there would be no requirement for your level of percentage of fee involved in the transaction. A computer could do it. So when it gets tough and tricky, the little flick switch in your head should be, this is good news because this reminds me why I'm worth my money. This reminds me why clients need people like me to be involved in this role. And keeping that front of mind is actually something that should build your confidence in the work that you do. And never wish it was easier, just work at getting better.